Imagine this. It's a cold winter night. Flight 721 takes off from Chicago, bound for Paris. Passengers settle in. Some sip hot coffee, hands shaking slightly from a chill. Some scroll endlessly through their phones, absorbed in social media and music. And others are already asleep, heads resting against windows, trusting the steelbird carrying them across the Atlantic. The cabin lights are dim, a soft hum of the engines vibrating through the floor. Flight attendants glide down the aisles, offering blankets, water, and small reassurances. Everything seems calm. Too calm. Trust can be fragile. A sudden loud bang echoes through the fuselage, jolting passengers awake. Overhead bins rattle violently. A cup of coffee spills onto the carpet. Lights flicker. In the cockpit, alarms scream relentlessly. The captain, Thomas Reynolds, seasoned and composed, grips the controls tightly, his face pale. Beside him, First Officer Mitchell frantically checks instruments. Engine 2's gone. Mitchell shouts, "Hydraulics failing. We are losing altitude." Reynolds swallows hard, fighting his rising panic. The plane dips sharply. Gasps ripple through the cabin. A baby cries. A man screams, "What's happening?" Outside, lightning cracks the sky like jagged knives, illuminating terrified faces pressed against windows. Turbulence shakes the aircraft violently. In seat 14C sits Ravi Khanna, 41, a former Indian Air Force test pilot turned civilian flight instructor. He has spent last 3 years avoiding aircraft like the plague. A trainee's tragic death, during a routine training flight had shattered his confidence and stolen his license. Since then, guilt had been his constant companion. Nights of insomnia, days of self-recrimination. He had promised himself he would never touch a cockpit again. Tonight, he is just another passenger. Or so he thought. The intercom crackles. The captain's voice is shaky, almost breaking. "Ladies and gentlemen, we've suffered critical failures. If there's anyone on board with flight experience, please come to the cockpit." The cabin goes silent. Murmurs rise. Whispers travel row to row. Some passengers freeze, fear gripping them. Others glance around nervously, hoping someone will respond. Ravi closes his eyes. He does not want this. He has left this life behind. He clenches his fists. Memories of the accident flashing before him. The screaming, the fire, the loss. But then he hears it. A child whispering to her mother, "Mom, are we going to die?" Something inside him snaps awake. Instinct, courage, and duty fight the guilt. He takes a deep breath, unbuckles his seatbelt, and rises. Every eye in the cabin tracks him as he walks down the aisle. Slowly, deliberately, the air thick with tension. The cockpit door opens. The captain turns, relief washing over his face. "Who are you?" he asks. "Ravi Khanna, former test pilot." "Let me help," Ravi says, voice steady, though his heart races. The situation is grim. Left engine on fire. Hydraulics failing. Fuel leaking fast. The nearest functional airport? Over 200 miles away. Reynolds wipes sweat from his brow. "We can't make it. We are too heavy for a water landing." Ravi studies the map, then the storm outside. His mind races. A fragment of memory surfaces. An abandoned World War I-era airstrip, forgotten, 70 miles east. No lights. No modern equipment. Just concrete fading into darkness. "Head 110 east," he says firmly. "We'll land there." The storm refuses to relent. Turbulence tosses the plane like a paper boat in a raging river. Oxygen masks drop from the ceiling like ghosts. Passengers clutch each other. A teenage girl screams. Flight attendants struggle to maintain order, their own fear thinly masked by professionalism. Mitchell mutters, voice barely audible, "We won't make it." Ravi grips the controls. Inside, memories of the fatal crash claw at him, testing his resolve. He failed once. He will not fail again. Lower altitude. Dump excess fuel, he orders. "We get one shot at this." One. Back in the cabin, eyes widen as the plane tilts sharply, engines roaring in protest. The baby wails. An elderly woman mutters prayers under her breath. Passengers grasp hands, lips moving in silent desperation. Who's flying this thing? Some passenger. Another whispers. No, he looks like a pilot. A fragile hope ignites. Ravi ignores the noise, focusing on the horizon. Lightning splits the night sky. Rain streaks the windshield. He remembers what his father taught him decades ago during long nights at the airfield. The sky will guide you if you learn to read it. Using compass, stars, and sheer instinct, he plots a course toward the abandoned airstrip. The storm rages against them with unrelenting fury. Through sheets of rain and wind, the faint outline of cracked concrete appears. Ravi's voice cuts through the chaos. Brace for landing. The aircraft descends rapidly. Wind shear slams the wings. Sparks fly as metal groans under the strain. The wheels hit the ground hard, bouncing over rough patches. Water sprays from the landing gear. Passengers scream, clutching seats and loved ones. Every second stretches into an eternity. The plane finally slides to a stop. Silence blankets the cabin for a brief, precious moment. Then, cheers, sobs, and applause erupt. Captain Reynolds turns to Ravi, voice trembling. You just saved 276 lives. Ravi doesn't smile. His eyes remain fixed on the rain-streaked runway. For the first time in years, the weight of guilt lifts. In saving others, he has saved himself. Ravi walks back to the passengers. They rise to their feet, clapping, some crying, some shaking his hand. A little boy runs up, hugs him, and whispers, "Are you a superhero?" Ravi kneels, voice breaking. No, just a pilot who forgot how to give up. The storm begins to recede. Rescue vehicles race toward the aircraft. Crew members assist passengers, but the focus remains on the man who dared to face the storm. His reputation, once tarnished, is restored, not by fame, but by courage. Life has a strange way of bringing us back to the skies we once feared. And that night, on a forgotten runway, a man who thought his flying days were over became a legend in the storm. Sometimes, the people who think they are broken carry the strength to save everyone. Sometimes, the skies call back the ones who ran from their past. And sometimes, a forgotten airstrip in the middle of a storm becomes the stage for courage, redemption, and hope. Flight 721 will never be forgotten, because that night, a man remembered why he was born to fly.